I felt like going in the MAC and playing in the MAC was easier than making a run in the Elite Eight.
Congratulations in the Hall of Fame. That means so much to me because you're a Kent State Golden Flash. I was a Golden Flash. Didn't play football at Kent, which is crazy to me, but like that's how big of an impact you have. Dude, can you explain your story about how you got to Kent State? So I want to ask you about Nick Saban. You go to Michigan State for football and basketball, and then all of a sudden you play basketball or something happens, then you go to what? Can you explain your situation, how you got to Kent?
Then I was on tour like an artist.
Yeah.
You know how artists get on tour?
Yeah.
I was on tour.
You have a bus?
Basically, you know what I mean? I was on tour like an artist. So, a lot of stuff was, so I come from Detroit, Michigan, man, as an inner city.
D-town.
Yep. And, I think when I look back on it, a lot of it was just affiliation. We got this thing we call keeping it real.
Yeah.
And I wasn't no stranger to that. I was always trying to keep it real with my homeboys I grew up with, inner city, went to high school with, grew up in the neighborhoods with. And a lot of things that was happening to me was predicated to that. You know what I'm saying? You go somewhere and you with me and we go to a college party and somebody start fighting. They know that's Antonio Gates, but them his boys, but they don't know my boys. They just know that's Antonio Gates.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of transpired throughout my college career, and that led me to going from Michigan State to Eastern Michigan to eventually getting to a point where I had to get to Kent State. So I had to get
College Sequoias.
College Sequoias. So I had to
played them in a bowl game.
So I went to people don't even know I went to 5 different colleges, man. I'm rehabilitated, just so you know.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I went to 5 different colleges, but reality is that I already knew my destiny was somewhere special, right? So that's why I always strived and kept going. And can't say enough about what it took for me to get to that point where Kent State actually gave me opportunity. Funny story, I get to Kent State, right? And you went to Kent State, so I get to Kent State, and I think that the guys had like a golf outing or something going on, basketball team. And here I am, this inner city kid, man, straight from the hood. I come in, a golf outing, I think I got a Julius Erving's throwback jersey on with chains on. It sounded like forks and knives, and it's making all this noise. And here are these Kent State students, right, student athletes, and they were like sweaters, button-up shirts. And
Golf attire.
Golf attire.
Golf attire.
And I was looking, and I'm thinking like, so when I'm introducing myself to all of them, the players, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, why do I feel weird? Why do I feel like odd, right? And I think what happened was at that moment of getting to Kent, it translated to me like, damn, man, this is what being a man really is. All my life, I was consumed with the idea of being tough, being in the streets. Yeah. This is, look at the boys carrying their book bags. They soft, they corny. Yeah. But then I got to a point when I was around the Golden Flashes, that basketball team. I've probably learned so much from those dudes. They probably don't even know that to this day. This is probably, if they see this will be the first time, they would probably really understand. I learned so much from my teammates, my roommates that was living with me in apartments, because they were actually doing things that dictated success, dictated what a man should be. Although I never knew that, because we grew up believing, man, look at this dude, man, he got a sweater on with a button-up shirt. Yeah. Right? That's what we believe in the neighborhood.
Archie
That's
Bunker.
just right. You know what I'm saying? Dude, he always on time for class, always. This is the thought process.
Dudley Do
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Right. So being around those dudes, I was able to consume the idea of like, damn, man, it's harder to do this. One of my roommates was in grad school, and I'm like watching them work. And naturally, I'm picking up their habits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, these dudes studying all this time. Dude, where the parties at? We ain't going to the gym?
Yeah.
It developed me in a way, and it shaped me in a way. I'm so thankful for that opportunity, because it developed and shaped me in a way, and it allowed me to keep growing as a human being. And like I said, I'm so grateful for that opportunity to be able to be in Kent State. And those dudes, Drew Mintrell, Trevor Huffman, Demetrius Shaw, Eric Thomas, Brian Befford, John Edwards, John Merritt. Dude, I don't want to miss anybody. Even my young dudes, Dre Haynes and, Gates. I had another guy on our team, Gates. I mean, it was so many of us, man. We had so much fun. Anthony Wilkins, guy that I'm still close with now, but they shaped me in a way because I felt like I went from hanging with guys in the neighborhood, inner city guys, and essentially being with guys who had a vision and wanted to do something in life. And I would always tell them dudes, like, I feel like I'm on a debate team now.
Yeah.
The way they would act, you know what I'm saying? They were very smart, sharp, but it was, you know how it is playing for the Patriots. It's like the same concept. It's the same thing. And I got to the Chargers, which was funny, and it was still like the same concept. You know what I mean? We were like, and I'm like, these are good human beings, though. Yeah. Unbelievable people.
It's kind of like the bumps in the road are what make the journey fun.
I forgot about my boy Nate Gerwick and Matt Jakeway. I'm looking at the roster now. Brian Pellegrini, Brian Howard, B. Howard,
Hella
Brandon
Michigan
Roach.
folks.
Yeah, Chris Williams, my man from D.C. All them boys. And hopefully when they see this, they know that I still got so much love for them. Some of the funnest times in my life. You know, at Kent State.
Kent State, it's so great that you learned that because, you know, playing football, there's so many stories of the inner city guy that's hanging around with the knuckleheads.
Yes, yeah.
And becomes nothing. And you become a product of who you surround yourself with. And the blessing for you was to be around those guys. The blessing for me was to get drafted to the Patriots. Because being around those guys, seeing how they, like you said, debate team, everything was about challenging each other, whether it was intellectually, whether it was physically, whether it was a challenge, in the weight room or a challenge of knowing the history of the fucking defensive coordinator. Like everything was a challenge. So you had to bring your A game all the time. Yeah. And that built and made me who I was, which I had that already in me when I was at Kent. I had a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah, small school.
People
not knowing about same thing. Yeah,
I can fully understand that, man. Where'd you live? Did you live? What apartments did you live? You live in Silver Ghettos?
No, you're right.
I lived in Silver Ghettos. I got robbed
off campus, right? I live off campus. So my two roommates were in grad school, and so and man, like the coach was brilliant with his ideas. So he knew I was a product of just my environment, but he knew I had some like maturing to do, like any kid, right?
He put you with some mature guys,
right? He put me with some guys that was in grad school.
Yeah.
So all they doing is studying all day because in grad school, I think you get like 2 or 3 tests a year. Yeah. So I guess if you fail one, you basically gonna fail the class. So,
I don't know.
Right. Yeah, right.
It took me 12 years to get my degree.
Right. So that's the thing. I'm with guys that's just studying all day, right? Doing everything the proper right way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my roommate, Andrew Mitchell. And, learned a lot from him, man, because he did things the right way. I always had the talent, always had the ability, always was number one since I was 12, right? Number one player, 12, 13, 14. So that wasn't the issue, the sports part. It was the off the court initially, and then it became off the field. But it was off the court initially that became the issue because of, like I said, you grow up believing what keeping it real is. It's like I got to take my boys with me. I got to take
pride.
them, right? I got to take them in a space that they don't belong.
Yeah,
and
it's foolish
it can
pride.
Happen to you. They can pull you down.
Yeah,
obviously I got a opportunity and a blessing to keep going, but I was in situations where I was looking at jail time, and thankful that through all those experiences I was able to get a grip of who I am and what I wanted to be. And it helped me get to this point that I'm at today, Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything happens for a freaking reason. It's crazy. You're like the epitome of that.
Yeah.
You did you ever see Cribbs or Harrison?
Yeah, I did. So I didn't know them personally as much.
They're all in Dunbar, probably.
Yeah, you're right. Because, the whole idea when you play basketball, we always think the football player's jealous. That's a real storyline, dude.
It was a basketball school.
I'm just saying.
It was a basketball
we
school.
always think the football players was jealous. So that's kind of like the thing. But, I had the football. I did go to Michigan State. So, dudes were kind of small to me. Even though I was playing basketball, I'm like, y'all scared of these dudes that play football for kids. You know what I'm saying? So I remember parties would go on and my teammates, basketball guys would be there. And we were good. We would rank the top 25 twice. And I was only there for 2 years. So the thing is that we were good. And, they'd be at the game, parties. And they get the call to me like, hey, man, the football player's here. You coming? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I'm coming up there, man. They ain't going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And they were just scared. Basketball players were scared of the football players. And to me, I was just as big or bigger.
You were
yeah, I
you
was
were
like
Daywalker. You were basically Blade.
I was a Big Ten football player, so I'm like, dude, come on. Dude, y'all chill out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all,
You were both.
Yeah, and they knew. You know what I'm saying? People know energy. They ain't nobody crazy, right? You know, I was from Detroit. I'm like, dude, y'all scared of these? Come on, this dude grew up down there in Canton, Ohio. Dude, what he gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So, right. So that's how it was. And I just remember, seeing James, and obviously James and I are good friends, and I know Cribbs as well. So, we would never truly interact.
Yeah.
Because the basketball team, not me personally, they would always feel like, the football team was more intimidating. They were, which were they were,
big guys on campus.
We were.
Antonio G's.
Yeah.
Walk us through this Elite 8 run, bro. Because I just remember we were talking about. I was there 5-6 years after you.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, 6, whatever. We were talking about I was like, yeah, we had the Elite 8 run last year.
Yeah.
We used that last year because of you.
Yeah.
For ever.
Yeah, man. It was that was the thing about being in college and making a run like that. It's nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
It's all about relationships and friendships and pride and playing for one another. That's why that was one of the most special moments of my life. That was the first time, not the first time, but that was really the last moment of when it had absolutely nothing to do with finances and business. It was just like, dude, we are all trying to get somewhere special and we're all trying to do something special. I remember we playing Pittsburgh, and I was just remember these dudes some dogs. Pittsburgh had some tough players, man. But we had that, that itch.
There's a dog in you too.
Yeah, but we got that. Still, y'all think because we at Kent State that y'all better. And I'm here to tell you, from going to the Big Ten and making that transition to the MAC, the only difference is that it's just a size, it's a fit thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They wanted a guy 6'8", 6'9" to play the wing at Michigan State. At Kent State, these dudes are 6'5", 6'4". But when I got there, this man playing in the MAC, you like, these dudes can play.
Yeah, late bloomers, a lot of late bloomers.
These dudes can play. They play hard, and that's the catch.
They're pissed off.
They play hard every play. So I felt like going in the MAC and playing in the MAC was easier than making the run in the Elite 8. Like I felt like the dudes, the Theron Smiths, the Brandon Hunters, the Keith McLeods of the world, the freaking Marshall had Blackshear. You know what I mean? They felt harder than the guys I was going against in these big programs because they were still like, with a chip on their shoulder. They can put it on the floor. They can hit a mid-range. They can hit you from 3. They can make the right pass. They were strong enough. They was quick enough.
Just weren't tall enough.
Wasn't tall enough. Or they didn't have the off the charts jumping abilities.
Yeah.
When you see them play, they didn't make you wild. It wasn't the wild play.
Yeah.
And I think you can, obviously you played and you moved on. Same thing. It's like guarding you, on 3rd and 8. You know what I mean? Yeah, but once you get out there, you like, damn, this motherfucker, he can go left, he can go right. He can beat you deep too. If you playing around, he can beat you. Then you'll see a guy that make a big play, and you be like, okay, he's going deep. He's the first pick in the draft. But when you get out there, it changes the dynamic. And I believe I use this word, and they asked me how I would describe myself as how I would describe you too, Julian. I think we were just ultimate competitors. Fierce, bro. Like, dude, we can me and you right now can probably start playing something and it'll get real hot in here. Right. That's what I'm saying. So
heated.
Fierce competitor, man. That was what I brought to the table. That's why I played the game of basketball. It didn't matter. I made the adjustments as I went. If I felt like you was too slow, I'm gonna take you on the wing. I'm gonna penetrate you. If I felt like you was smaller, I ain't shooting no jumpers on you. We going to the block every time. We gonna pay the fact that you smaller, and that's how I played the game of football.
That's how he played. You put a linebacker too slow.
Yeah.
You put a fucking corner on him, he's too small. Mm-hmm. You put a safety on him, he ain't getting space.
Yeah,
he can't play me to space.
Yeah. Same way, man. That's just what we did to make that run. And I think the beauty of when mid-majors make runs like the Elite 8 runs, these guys that's growing together for 4 years. So it was like senior, junior.
You don't see that no more.
Yeah. And now we're going against a guy that's supposed to be a top 10 pick. He's a sophomore. The next guy's a freshman. He was the #1 player in the country coming out of high school. They got a couple of juniors on their team. But most of these guys, as they get older, they gone. They getting ready to go to the NBA. We was able to develop what they developed before I even got there.
Yeah.
And then they added a piece. and that was like the missing piece of the puzzle. And collectively, man, we was just, we thought we could have been national champions at that point because we were older. First of all, we were older than everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was the youngest person on the team on the starting lineup, and I was 20. My junior year. So we felt like we could have. We felt like we should have beat Indiana, but they got so hot. Dane Fife and the boys got so covered there. They got so hot, man. They just wouldn't miss.
Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
So just for our viewers at home, listeners at home, the first round you guys were a 10 seed, beat Oklahoma State 7th seed 69-61. Second round you beat the number 2 seed Alabama 71-85. The Sweet 16 game you mentioned against 3 seed Pitt, you guys beat them 78-73 in overtime. You had 22 points and 8 boards in 43 minutes played, and then you guys eventually lost to the 5 seed Indiana 81-69. Hell of a run.
Crazy run.
Hell of a run.
Wow, I'm looking at that. That's crazy.
What comes up to your mind when you see these games? What's the first thing? What game comes? Is just are you thinking?
I think about the camaraderie that we had. I don't see a game. I see the people that was in my space at that time. I think about, damn man, this is what it happens when you got the right group of people that's with the right idea, right, and the right focus. We were having so much fun together, man. Even like when we got to round 2 with Alabama, like our practice was like so fun. We were so happy to be in the tournament.
Yeah.
So we were like just enjoying the moment. And now I look back, I'm like, dude, was the best time of my life. That was probably the spark, other than going into the Hall of Fame now, that was the spark of my athletic career up until this point that just happened.
Man, I'm looking at you. You're touched, man.
Yeah.
That's making me touched.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel like got a little hair on the back of my back hanging up. Who's I was watching this documentary on you. It was like back in the day or something. It was like old. And who you played against Harrington?
Al Harrington, that's my guy.
Al Harrington,
yeah.
And you kind of punked him?
Yeah. Well, but Al Harrington's number 1 player in the country coming out.
I know.
You really can't punk Al Harrington. That I wouldn't say that.
How many you put on
dog, him? Yeah. It was just that the fact
how many
that,
you put on him?
He was.
This is a Hall of Fame. See, this Hall of Fame answer.
Yeah, right.
This Hall of Fame answer right now.
That's my man, though.
You gotta learn a
I
thing or
still
two.
see Al, periodically. He lived out here. He moved to Texas, I think. But, he was the number 1 player in the country. So I'm like, dude, this dude ain't, man, if he number 1, what am I? You know what I'm saying? But that was just I grew up watching the bad boys.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas, Lambeer, Rick Mahorn, Dumars, Vinny Johnson. So our whole philosophy is that we coming in.
That's in your heyday
You're
too
right,
as a kid.
We coming in to see if you got some toughness about you. Because, when you watch the game, sports in general, we can take any sport. When you watch people play, people can jump and they can run. But it's when the will is tested is when the real true character come out.
Yeah.
And you have that. I've watched you play in playoffs. And I said, that motherfucker, you right there with the Kent. Dog. That's tough. That's all I'm saying. I've watched it. So, and because you can't see it until you around and you see it.
Yeah.
Because you go 7-on-7, you do all this, and that's kind of what I was trying to get out of Al. You hear about these guys all the time. Rashard Lewis was one of the guys too. And you get in there, and I remember playing, and we practicing. We had a guy named Lloyd Price, and people don't even know who that was. And to me, he was the best player because when you get there and you playing them, the essence of the people changes, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, let me see what this guy about, man. Some guys can just jump, shoot, and they 6'9". Al Harrington was a dog.
Now,
Rashard Lewis was one too. They were like,
paint
when
the
I say
picture,
dog,
though.
DAGG dog. Yeah.
Where's this game at?
This was in Michigan. So the All-American game, round ball game.
All-American game.
Round ball game was played at the Palace, I think, at Auburn Hills. It was in the Pistons. I want to say it was still the Palace back then.
Was it packed arena?
Yeah.
Jumping
High
with
school,
just
yeah.
Detroit.
And I'm local. I'm home. So I'm considered the best player in the state, right? So I'm at home and I'm like family, friends, teammates, school, teachers, principal, everybody.
Everyone. 80 people.
Everybody.
The whole block's there.
The whole block's there. And that's the beauty of sports, man, because sometimes
Community, man.
You carrying more than just you.
You.
Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? It's you, is your name, but you represent so much more, man. It's
everyone who helped you get there is a part of your
and
journey.
People believe in you, and you be surprised how it have an impact on so many. Man, we had a situation where we were winning in high school, and people were literally coming together who didn't like each other because the nephew or the cousin was on the team.
Yeah.
Like anything, like sports, that's what they do, and that's the beauty of it, man. And they bring people together, which we need.
I have an out of left field question. So you were in Detroit in the 90s. I know you're a basketball football guy, but the Red Wings were killing it.
Yeah, Red Wings. Oh, Red Wings is the
You a hockey guy?
Yeah, Red Wings is. I mean, I met Steve Eisman. We was. I mean, you know, Red Wings is the #1 team in Michigan. That's just what it is. They never.
You're a hockey
yeah,
guy?
I'm not a hockey guy.
But you were watching here
but
and
I
there.
mean, but they were always winning. So I'm
They
a
got flag gear,
I'm a
too.
bandwagon type of guy. I'm like, they were always winning. You cannot know the Red Wings.
Hockey
You
apparel
cannot-
is dope too.
Yeah, you cannot know the toughness that we bring. You come there, we gonna see what you're about. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That was a foundation of me growing up. Everything was about test they will.
You
Are they tough?